Howdy guys, you're listening to Heavy Magazine. My name is CJ and today I am joined by a member of a Brisbane-based band called Joy in Motion. We've got a couple of things to touch on and obviously we're going to be talking about Carnage Fest coming up in November, which is really exciting. But I just wanted to start first of all with basically your previous release. You guys dropped an EP last year called Stardust.
Yeah, that was our second EP that we did. We actually recorded that all the way back in 2018.
Right.
Yeah, it was kind of like a long release schedule. We recorded with a guy named funny name Stuart Stewart.
Stuart. Yes, I actually know who that is. Yeah, he recorded.
You know who that is? Yeah.
Yeah, he
So,
recorded some country music with a friend of mine called Sabrina Durante.
oh no,
So yeah. Anyway, sorry. Continue.
yeah. So we did a 5-track EP with him, mainly because we wanted to sort of really branch out into the sort of mainstream pop realm for a release and just see how that went. And also he recorded our drummer and guitarist Justin Carley's. He recorded their last band's stuff years ago, and so they knew him. They had a good relationship with him, and so we're like, yeah, cool. Let's give that a shot. And then with it being such a mainstream pop sounding EP, we spent a lot of time trying to push that to labels and management and trying to get it picked up behind the scenes to sort of really push the release of them. As we were doing singles as well, we released each of those songs as individual singles and then compiled them at the end as an EP.
Yeah.
So the EP itself took a while to come out just because we were doing a campaign for every song. And that was with a music video and the whole campaign push. That was an expensive and long process, but so that's why that took a bit long to come out. But even though we recorded in 2018, we still had that steady stream of content coming out. It was just sort of split up into singles and did it that way. And yeah, that's where we're at. So
nice. How did you find the response to that one, man?
A bit or hit and miss, I'd say. Obviously, like the songs translate vastly different live. Because the recorded material being, the genre that it is and being the style that it is and the way it was produced, there were really no real instruments on that EP. It's very programmed, a lot of pop elements. And then we had to then reimagine those songs as live renditions, which was easy enough. It was just really replacing the drum loops with real drums and adding guitars and bass and all that. And we found out the songs get a pretty good response, or get a good response live. We've always had people singing along and jumping up front and all that, which is great. But because we all came from the alternative scene, I came up playing drums in a deathcore band. Josh, our bassist, he fronted a post-hardcore band, and Jess and Carly were kind of like in a alternative emo pop group back in the day.
Right.
All of our fan base was weren't ready to hear that. So it was kind of like hey, this is the EP, and everyone's like, yeah, cool. But then they hear it live, it's like, oh, okay, this is cool live. This is different live. But yeah, the actual response of the releases, it could have been better. Like in saying that though, we did because we did the campaign pushes, we gained a lot of fans, especially overseas. We found we gained a lot of people overseas that love the songs, and I think it's in South America for some reason. There's a big if we look at our analytics, there's one of our main listening mediums is over in South America, and they seem to eat it up. But
isn't it funny with that? I know so many bands that are like, yeah, we have a great following in Brisbane and Puerto Rico or Spain, or like it's a really funny thing, and like I'm still trying to figure out how and why. But that's awesome that you guys have gained that following overseas as well. Because if you look through with what you guys have done, you have pushed really hard with the EP and that, and I actually loved it because I'd only discovered you guys. I'll be very honest, only a couple of months ago, and I ate it up. I thought it was freaking fantastic. So I highly recommend for anyone that is a fan of a bit more of the mellower side of things, definitely go and check it out. It's definitely worth the while. And since then, because it was dropped last year, it's been a bit of a gap since you guys have had a release with anything. So what's going on in the camp now? What's the goals right now?
Well, it's funny you say that for people who are after something a bit more mellower to go check it out, because like the new stuff that we're doing is very much the polar opposite. It's on the opposite spectrum of what we've done previously. And like I said prior, is that we all came from heavier roots. And I think we're all at that point now where, like, I turned 30 a few months ago. The two girls are 31. We're at that point where, like, I don't give a crap about writing music for a specific purpose. Like we tried the pop route to see, test those waters. We all like pop music, and that hasn't changed. But we all wanted to really put our all into that route and see how that went. And we discovered that it's really hard to get any traction within that pop mainstream route unless you're an industry plant. Nobody wants to unless you already have, management, a label. If somebody's funding thousands of dollars just for someone else to look at your stuff,
Isn't it funny with that too? Because like you would imagine that there would be, but it's kind of like that, especially when you start to go to that mainstream. Like how much more of an industry it is,
it's
rather
ridiculous.
than a scene. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean that's really where like that whole what's the word? Not stereotype, but that whole image, I guess, maybe of where people say, well, music's a business. Well, in that sense, music really is a business. They make the product for the consumers, and the product is the pop stars, the people who are on the radio, on the TV screens, getting pushed in your faces constantly. And that's what we learned. There's obviously the lucky few that get their breaks. People like G Flip and who did Dance Monkey, Tones and I, all those people, they're lucky and they get their breaks and all that, which is great. But for everybody else, it's very much a selection process, and how will this person fit into this sound, and how will they, what shtick can we generate for them, and what's sad story, or what
narrative?
what narrative can we push to make make them likable and make them sell and blah blah blah. And we're already a band, we already had the songs. It's not like they could so much shape us or shape the music. Well, we already had the look, we already had the band, we already had the songs. And so it was just like, cool guys, we'll definitely listen to this.
Yeah, thanks, man. Oh, dude, that's really that's a really interesting insight with that, man. So, we're definitely working. It sounds like you're definitely working on new material. Kind of
absolutely.
definitely changing the aspect of what that is and moving forward. And I guess probably the most appropriate word for it sounds like an evolution.
Absolutely, like it's definitely going back to roots for all of us. We've got a song pretty much done. I've just got to finish off a few lines of vocals, but as you can probably tell by my voice and cough and all that, I've been constantly sick over the last few weeks.
Yes,
so
yes, man. That's why I said I appreciate your time today, man. I could hear you.
That's all right.
You had a gnarly cough before, man. I'm like, oh, we could do this, and you're like, nah, man, let's go. I'm like, oh, I fucking love the enthusiasm, man.
No, that's all good, man. So yeah, like that's all ready to go. We've already got the instrumental mix back. It's sounding really tight. It's pretty heavy. It's very much a emo throwback song, with an added breakdown for fun, which is definitely like if you listen to Stardust and you go emo throwback with a breakdown, that's definitely not that band, but that's the next deal. We're in the process of Josh and I just smashing out another song we want to get out by Christmas as well. Another one there, and then there's the new EP that I started writing quite a while ago is pretty dark. I guess it's comparable to the latest stuff that's been coming out by Architects, I'd say.
Okay.
That's what I would compare it to. I kind of bust out some Sam Carter tone screams on that, which is fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Coming from the Linkin Park band that Josh and I do, it's like, well, I learned how to fry scream like Chester. I learned how to do all this. And, why not utilize it elsewhere rather than a Linkin Park tribute band?
Yeah.
Once or twice a year.
Wow. Well, keen, man. Very interested. Obviously, when it comes close to the drop, we'll talk, and we'll probably have another chat through Heavy Mag again, man.
Absolutely, man. Keen.
Well, the big thing that we're also coming here to talk about today is Carnage Fest coming up in November. It's going to be at Moe's Desert Clubhouse on November the 11th. Being at a very strange eclectic of bands that's actually going to be there on the night. What can the fans expect to see from you guys in particular that night?
Well, they can expect to see a different guitarist. Our guitarist Jess, she works very, very hard doing. Her main income is doing gigs, acoustic gigs for events and whatnot, and she is unfortunately booked that night for work. So they expect to see a different guitarist. But they can expect to see probably something vastly different to the rest of the bands. A lot of whoas, that sort of stuff. A lot of whoa sing-alongs. Definitely no screaming, no breakdowns or anything like that for this time around. But they can expect some catchy songs, some catchy pop songs with added real instruments. That's what they can expect.
Awesome, man. No, I'm super excited for it, dude. And I want to end this interview with a question that I always end my interviews with. But if you could go back and relive any show that you've played in the past with any project for whatever reason, what would it be and why?
Relive any show I've played in the past. Ew, shit.
Yeah, it always does stump people when they first have to sit back and have a think of it.
Like relive it as in like for good memories, or if we made a mistake to rectify.
Whatever your choice is, man. You can go with happy, sad, positive, negative.
I don't know. There's three examples. There's three that I can think of. Two happy, one just cringe and embarrassing. Like Join Motion, we did Good Things in 2019, and that was incredible.
Yeah.
My old band did the Warped Tour when it came to Australia. That was hectic. I'd love to relive any of that.
Nice.
Any of those, either of those two would be just incredible. But a bad one. I remember when I was like 18 or 19. I think I was 18 years old, and I used to drum, like I said, in a deathcore metalcore band. And did you ever play at Crowbar in Brisbane?
Yes, I have.
Right. Before it was Crowbar, this is going back to 2010, 2011. It
Basement
used to be
293.
Basement 243.
243. Yeah. Sorry.
Basement 243. Right. So if you played that, then you remember it was just the empty room, right? There was no stage. It was just two PAs, and that was it.
100%.
And so my old bands were called Road to Ransom back in the day, and we used to book there pretty much every week. Us and another band called As Paradise Falls just used to book it once a week, once a fortnight, and would always put each other on the shows, and we would just sort of alternate headline. And being 18, 19, having no fan base, no nothing. There was bloody nobody there, But I promoted the shows on my Facebook, and two different girls that I had been chatting to at the time thought, "Oh, we'll come and see Jake's band play." And they came down, and these are girls that were not into heavy music at all. And they both came with their two separate friend groups to a dive bar that was before it was the lovely Crowbar, to 243. They both came dressed up for a night at the Met or Birdies, as girls dress up nicely do. They come down there within 5 minutes of each other, two friend groups, to see that. To nobody there playing. And more embarrassingly, for whatever reason, our guitarist at the time, he was getting really big on YouTube.
Yeah.
And one of the shticks that he did was he would have costumes. So then we would also have just costume. I played in a banana suit for whatever reason, because and I also played on an electric drum kit at the time.
Right.
And because that's just what I had. And so it was a really nice electric kit, but it was an electric kit. And so you could imagine talking to a guy coming to see his band playing a show, think, "Oh, this will be cool." and then going down a set of sticky stairs to a dive bar that had no stage and a PA to nobody there, to the guy that you think, I hope she thought I was cool at the time, playing in a banana suit on electric kit really badly to screamy rah-rah music, only to have another girl with her group of friends come and see you.
Now I'm like, right, I probably will never try to do this again. Fuck that.
Yeah, I've burned so many bridges.
Oh, fuck it, man.
So,
fuck it.
Look, if I had to change a bad event, that'd be the one, 100% all the time. Otherwise, if I could, relive a good one, it'd be either Warped or Good Things. Both were incredible. Epic. Yeah, on par with being some of the best days of my life.
Epic, man. Oh, dude, that's some great answers. That's some funny stories, because people usually go for the positive. They usually don't go back to relive to change events in the past, man. So that's the first one I've had with that, man. That's fucking great.
It keeps me awake.
Yeah,
it has kept me awake.
Nightmare inducing, bro. Oh man, that's fantastic. Well, look, dude, thank you so much for your time this evening. I genuinely appreciate Jake, man. Is there anything you want to leave this interview on, dude?
Man, if anybody wants to check us out on Spotify, would gladly appreciate it. We're Joy in Motion. Otherwise, definitely come and see us on November 11th with everybody else there. It's going to be a hectic day.
Absolutely,
hectic night.
Man. Oh, well, dude, appreciate your time so much, man. And get your tickets to Carnage Fest. November 11th at Mo's Desert Clubhouse. We've got Joy in Motion, we've got Mass Sky Raid, we've got Kaosis, we've got Redefine, the Incubus tribute, and then we have the Prodigy tribute as well. So it's going to be a weird eclectic of pop and metal, industrial kind of bands and electronic bands and stuff. So I'm super excited for it, man.
Fantastic. Same here.
Easy, bro. All right. Well, you take care of yourself, mate. And you guys have been listening to Heavy Mag, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.
See you guys.